Welcome to Greater Good Radio Hawaii, where leaders inspire leaders. Greater Good Radio Hawaii is dedicated to social entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Evan Leong, and with me is my co-host, Carrie Leong.
Well, hello, Evan. Today's guest is Jeff Chung, President and General Manager of KBFD TV. Jeff is also the Vice President of the Asia Network, the first Korean cable network carried by cable systems in the continental U.S. Please welcome to Greater Good Radio, Jeff Chung. Welcome to our show, Jeff.
Thank you for having me here today.
So as president, what is your normal day like, or an average day for you like?
An average day, in the morning I have just tons of emails. I primarily do my business, a lot of sales for advertisement with local sponsors, local advertisers via email.
So you're doing the sales for the television station yourself?
Primarily for local sales, non-Korean local clients. They're my, in most cases, they're all my clients. And also I do all of the legal work, and right now we're transitioning from analog to digital broadcast, so that is a bit of plate on my desk as it is.
How many people are in your company?
We have 32 employees.
Okay, and then how many of them are backing you up, or are most of them doing, their normal jobs?
I don't have a personal assistant. I prefer to do things on my own. It just gets done a lot quicker, and I'm just moving at 1,000 miles an hour, so I just need to get up and do it myself.
So prior to getting involved in this network television, what were you doing?
I was in high school. I've been in TV now for 20 years. We started in 1986, March 24th. So we just celebrated our 20th anniversary. So this has been my first job and my only job.
And you were born and raised in Hawaii?
No, I was born in Seoul, Korea. Came here when I was 6 years old. So I've been here 32 years.
So can you tell the story about how you actually get a television station? I mean, how did you just go
I think people should realize that I didn't start the company myself in high school. I mean, I'm not a boy genius by all means. It was a family business. It was my father's dream to own a TV station. What we were doing in 1976 is leasing time from the old Kiku, now KHNL, and we were doing 30 minutes of Korean news in black and white every Saturday mornings back in the mid-'70s. And then we built that up to about an hour a week and then an hour a day, to make a long story short. But we realized you could never get prime time. One, they just didn't give it to you, or we couldn't afford it. And an opportunity came in 1985 where we could buy the paper license to KBFD. It wasn't an operation. It was just a paper license that was granted by FCC to another person, Bob Allen at that time. And we purchased that paper license from him, then built the station from ground zero up.
What was that experience like, being that you didn't have experience building a station at that time?
It was just kind of hit by the shoot by the hip, and kind of went as we went along. But at that time, cable wasn't they didn't have a big presence here. They were just starting out by themselves as well. People just in general didn't know about TV broadcasts, and so there's a lot of people in the community, especially the Korean community, very hesitant because, one, they didn't know about TV business, and they were just thinking it's just this huge company then, and how could a community of 30,000 at that time support a TV station when at that time Japanese did have their own TV station, but it was more of a lease program on an hourly basis as well. So people are just kind of negative overall. It was very difficult for us.
How did you guys make it through then with such a small viewer base?
Well, it was a family effort. I have an older brother, 2 older sisters. My older sister was married at the time, so it was just primarily my second sister, my brother, and myself working free. We didn't get paid, so that cuts a lot of the labor costs right there. And it was extremely very difficult beginning because we just could not get advertisers to advertise on our station. People were just labeling us as purely Korean. And at the time we only had Korean audiences because we didn't subtitle dramas at that time. But the biggest challenge is there's no Korean national companies who have branch offices in Hawaii. There's a lot in Southern California, so it's a lot easier there. But here, all we have is Korean Airline. That's the largest presence in Hawaii by a Korean national company corporation. But other than that, we just couldn't get much support. So locally, we had to use our personal contacts and relationships to, ask our advertisers to take a chance with us.
It sounds like you were working with your father when you were fairly young. Was this something that you were excited about from a young age, or was it you were pretty much told you're going to help us build this?
My father's he's old school Korean kind of guy, and I really didn't have any choice. Neither did my brother or my sister.
So he doesn't really ask. It's just
no,
right?
It's more of an order, and there wasn't much resistance. It was a family effort, like I said, and we believed in him. And my father's quite the visionary, and we all knew that from our childhood. So we just followed his orders, and we really worked hard, and it paid off after 20 years.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.